And I spoke to the CEO and I said, here's my idea. And I shared the idea. And he said, that's the stupidest idea I've ever heard in my life. And you can imagine how I felt after that. And what I realized and what I've learned and what I teach is that he could have done it a little differently. Now, I should add here that it could have been the stupidest idea, right? But you can bet I never gave another idea while I was there. And I might have had a great idea. I think we all need to be practicing a little more social intelligence, a little more emotional intelligence, and actually be considering things like empathy, and taking a step back. So if we see something that annoys us or rubs us the wrong way, or even if someone says something that's upsetting directly, I think it's very important right now to pause before responding and consider maybe what that person might be going through. You have to understand that when you're speaking to somebody through social media, there's still, unless it's a bot nowadays, but chances are you're talking to a human. And so the way we treat each other on social media should be go by the same rules as if we were here in the same room face to face. And unfortunately, that often gets lost or not even thought about because it's so easy to write a tweet that's negative or mean to somebody without thinking twice about it. And so, even if you're a B2B business, I'm a B2B business. You're really, it's a human that decides whether they're going to work with you or not. I always talk about the three most important parts of networking. The first is to show up. We're all here right now. So show up. Kudos to everybody here. The second point here is to catch up, or excuse me, to follow up. That means that once the conference has ended or whatever the event is, follow up with those people. Write them an email and say, hey, it was a pleasure meeting you. Let's set up a 15-minute Zoom call, virtual coffee. I'd love to, get to know you a little more and what you do. So follow up. And then the third part is to catch up. And that means either if you're using a CRM or setting a reminder on your calendar, or maybe it's the next year and that big annual conference is taking place again, go through and start to write back to these people to catch up with them before that next event. See if they're attending again this year. And that way, maybe you can get together with them in person as well. So show up, follow up, and catch up. Back to like all social networks, treat it like you would networking in person. So if we were to meet at a conference or a networking event, you wouldn't just start selling me whatever it is that you had to sell, right? That would be horrible. Or if you interrupted a group of people speaking, be like, oh, really? I've got some pens for sale. You just wouldn't do that. But yet people treat social media, because it's sort of this one way, or it seems this one way dialogue, where you go on LinkedIn and everybody you connect with, you're selling them pens. And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. We haven't even gone on our first date yet. It's really about listening first and finding opportunities to provide value to people first and foremost, before asking for anything in return, and sometimes not asking for anything in return. And again, it's just so simple to send an email or post on social. But I think finding ways to provide value first is key to helping people. It makes you pause and stop and think about like who your team members are. First of all, it makes you think about them, and it makes you just kind of unplug for a minute and think, okay, why should I be writing a thank you card for this person? Well, they did this, this, and this. It starts to make you feel better. I can guarantee that thank you card will go over gangbusters. And sending something tangible like a thank you card, like an actual physical card or a gift or something like that, it goes such a much longer way than just sending an email or something like that. In fact, I have a book or a website actually called networkingfornicepeople.com. And so the idea here is to always try to find ways to serve others first and foremost. Now, we all need to make a living, of course, that's a given, but I'm a big believer in approaching things in a nice way, in a positive way, and in a way that we can make people feel empowered and heard. And so it's an acronym that stands for needs assessment. So the first step in the NICE method is for me to determine what your needs are specifically in your organization. The second, the I, stands for increasing social intelligence and emotional intelligence in team members. The third is the communication mastery, which is a workshop I actually do on its own as well, that incorporates my background with using skills that I learned from improv, which I could talk more about, and applying those to the organization. And then finally, empowering employees. So making sure that what I share and what I teach team members, they can implement and use right away, and continue using as well.